Hey, good day, ladies and gentlemen. Hope everybody's doing well. Thank you so much for being here today. Greatly appreciate you being here. Good day, Tiger. How are you, good sir?
Doing good, Frosty. How you doing, buddy?
I am doing very well. Thank you so much for asking. What's going on, Metal Detecting North Carolina? Freaking awesome. Thank you guys for being in here. Appreciate you being in. So, what was on your agenda today, Tiger? What'd you get done?
Oh, been working on trying to get a few things set up. Um, Wife wants me to get more exercise, and she wants a little bit more TLC time. So we went looking at bikes, and I'm a little bit deconditioned. So we're looking at e-bikes, and I appreciate you advising me because I think I made a good choice. I thought I knew a lot about bikes from the past, but that's from the past. So we did that today and then came back here to get ready with everyone to educate everyone in the community and go from there. How about you? What'd you do today?
Got ready to release a video, did a little bit of research on the coin that you have displayed on the screen. Video will be being dropped about that, and prepared for the weekend stream. That's about it.
Yeah. Everybody gets to have a weekend and I get to go to work. Yay me.
Yeah, no joke, right? Well, let's talk a little bit about what's going on. Let's go ahead and do the in the news.
Okay.
All right, so I got this in. This is probably going to stun a number of people. I'm probably not even aware that this is going on. This came out today. You can see October 31st, and this is a class action suit naming one of the people that we know quite well in the stacking and collecting community, SD Bullion. They're going to have a class action suit. It claims that they falsely advertises prices, but there's a kicker. Tiger, hold on to your tail. Who are the plaintiffs? Well, the plaintiff is Robert Victory, but who's the lawsuit against? SD Bullion, Smart Silver Sacker, Silver Dragons, Yankee Stacking, and Silver Seeker. Why will they allege SD Bullion falsely advertised precious metals as having the lowest price? And again, they're talking about the class action lawsuit that was filed in California. They're saying that the metal bullion dealer, SD Bullion, has falsely advertised products as the lower price. He talks about a number of cases in which he tried to purchase one and he could find it at much cheaper prices elsewhere. I really don't know about the class action suit. We'll see exactly what's going on. Again, more to come. This is something that we're definitely going to be following closely. There's a lot of people that are engaged in this that we know. And so we'll wait for more word to come from the horse's mouth, as it were. And, but yeah, so interesting. If you guys want to follow that, I've got the link here. I'm going to put that link in chat. You guys might want to check that out. So something you want to follow. Now, I'm not a member of that channel. I don't support it, but a good friend of mine reached out and said, hey, this might be something that you are interested in talking about. Happy Halloween, Kevin Hawthorne. Hope you're doing well and staying warm there in Frosty, Florida. It's not frosty, but you know what I mean.
Well, you're in Frosty, Texas. I guess wherever you're at is a frosty state.
It was 38 degrees this morning here. It was quite chilly. So interesting stuff. But that is in the news. That's what we talked about today. So that's going to be that's all I had. Do you have any other newsworthy items you want to talk about, Tiger?
Oh, not really. I'm just kind of sitting here with my jaw on the floor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and again, what is the merit of the argument? I don't really know. What's up, AZ? Not really sure what the merit of the argument is. I can tell you this. It's not a surprise, I don't think, to anybody that people are complaining that SD isn't actually the lowest. It's been advertised that they are for quite some time.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think a lot of people will be surprised by this. I think what people will be surprised with is who else was named in this. I'm very familiar with 3 of the 4 names on there. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens. And again, if you're going to do any kind of investing or if you're going to do any kind of partnership when you have a site like this, you have to weigh all those things accordingly. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Hopefully there's no negative affect with the people that have been named in this. Hopefully there's no negative effect with the people that have been named in this. And more to come. Like I said, we'll be following this to see kind of what happens. So we'll keep you guys updated on this for certain, as well as I'm sure they will too.
So true. So true.
So let's go over today's topic. You want to kind of kick this off?
Today's topic, we will. Rusty, I heard you say that if you're buying high-value numismatic coins, especially gold, the easiest tests will only get you so far. That's because the most sophisticated counterfeits, particularly those coming from overseas today, are often struck with high-quality steel die. Well, not only steel, but also copper and tungsten in the, depending on what they want to fake you out with. They can pass a magnet test. They can possibly weigh the right amount. They can possibly have the right density. They can possibly have the right measurements, depending on what they are. They can pass any high precision type of scale or calipers, depending on what's going on. Ping test, it's depending on what it is, because there's limitations on the ping. The only way to truly know, as you were talking to me, is to authenticate the coin. So that's one of the things we talked about. So I was bringing it up for everyone here for chat.
Yeah, and again, being a numismatist, it's important to understand where authentication begins. And authentication always begins with the coin or the bar, right? And again, when you're looking at this, there's things to look forward or look to. I'm going to show you something. This is something that you may have seen before, maybe you haven't. And this is something everybody has access to. You can all go look at this. This is NGC's top 50 counterfeit coins. And you would probably expect some of these on there. The 1909S VDB, right? Obviously, a high collector's piece, and the stackers are like, so what? I'm not going to collect this. What about a Mercury dime, a 1960 Mercury dime from Denver? One of these in, very good condition is $1,600. Pretty cool thing if you happen to find one of these. But this isn't what I want you guys to pay attention to. Stackers, listen up, okay? Real quick, pay attention. I want to scroll through these. I want you to tell me what you see, okay? Ready? Here pretty quick, you should start seeing a theme. You guys noticing anything?
Mostly gold.
Yeah, they're almost all gold. Okay, so when we talk about the most counterfeit coins, it's gold. Now, a lot of people are like, well, so what if it tests gold? Well, yeah, that's great. But here's the thing. Just because it shows up as being gold does not mean that it is an authentic coin. It could be a counterfeit. It could be a forgery. It could be an altered coin. And each of them have their own problems. Each of them have their own situations that affect them. Okay, and we've got to be careful when we look at things like this, because these are some of the things that can really impact you. Okay. So it's important to know things like the fonts. It's important to know things like design changes or pattern changes. Quite frequently, you'll see us talk about die markers, mint marks, die cracks, CUDs, chips. All those things are extremely important in authenticating a coin. Now, I know a lot of you people will say, and I don't mean to say you people, but you know what I mean. A lot of folks will say, yeah, but Frosty, I mean, come on. If the gold content is there, then what does it matter? Well, it's illegal to pass a known forgery, a known counterfeit as authentic. And there are laws, the Safe Hobby Protection Act of 1973, which was revised in 2014, has very specific requirements regarding the sell or the purchase of a counterfeit coin. It doesn't matter that it's gold. It doesn't matter that it tests authentic. If it is proven to be a counterfeit, you got some problems. And so when you're looking at doing your stack, now again, a lot of people are like, well, Frosty, I'm not going to go buy a $10,000 gold piece for its numismatic value. I'm a stacker. Doesn't matter. If that coin comes back and it's a counterfeit, you're forbidden to sell it by law. And the person is forbidden to buy it by law. And if you guys get caught, there are repercussions for that. So you need to take that into consideration. And so why are we talking about this? Well, we're talking about this for two reasons. Number one, I heard something in a stream the other day where people who quote unquote were the experts talked about the authenticity of coins and that you should never buy a raw coin that's a key date or a collectible coin. You should always buy them in a slab because you're guaranteed them to be authentic. Well, folks, the coin that I'm showing right now is in a PCGS slab that has RFID technology. And let's just say it's not what it pretends to be. Now, I'm doing a video on this that's going to be released later on, probably after the weekend, Monday, Tuesday. We'll talk a little bit about that more. But it's really important to understand the coin. See, if I focus on the coin, there are things on this coin that tell me it's not genuine. And a simple red book will tell me that they're not real. So how does that affect the stacker? Well, Tiger, I want you to talk a little bit about testing. Now, testing is very important, but testing by itself can let you down. And I'm going to give you a case after Tiger walks through the testing portions of why that's a reality and not just an assumption on my part. So Tiger, why don't you talk a little bit about testing coins, the various tests? Which ones do you recommend? Which ones do you not worry about? And then we can move on from there.
Okay. Now, I've done a lot of material on testing your coins. I've also done some comparisons on trying to show people what you have available to test with. So basically, I always say use more than one form of verification because there are certain things that can fool you if you just do one thing and one thing only. But one of the big things is always buy from a trusted source, or at least have a lot of ways to check. If something doesn't feel right, you might be right. Okay. So, the first of which is the magnetic test. Getting yourself a neodymium magnet, a rare, a strong earth magnet, because I have here a piece in a Morgan dollar, and if you notice, nothing happens. However, here I've got a Morgan dollar and also a 40% Ike. Or do I? Or do I? This was my very first fake I ever got. It was over at Chevella's. Brought it back, showed her the magnet test. She let me get another one. She let me keep it because I label it as a fake. I'll put it back in the capsule after today's video. And I keep a teaching box, and I did a video on my teaching box, which also includes fakes. So a rare earth magnet doesn't cost that much, but you can be fooled. You can't pick up copper. You can't pick up tungsten. So those are frequently used in silver and in gold. You can go ahead and use your calipers. I'm not your calipers. Your scale. That can give you some idea, but there sometimes is errors in that. For instance, the weight of pure gold, obviously the specific gravity point of pure gold is 19.3 and tungsten is 19.2.
Real quick question on that, okay?
Yeah.
If you do a specific gravity test, could you be fooled into believing that tungsten was gold?
Yes.
So even one of the best scientific tests might lead you astray.
Yes, because there's three things that you'll find that will fail you in a fake gold with tungsten. Your specific gravity will be off, or will be correct or close to it. Your weight, same thing, and your measurements, same thing. However, I'll get to that in a second. I'll tell you more about that here in a second. I want to stick with the test in the order I wanted to stick with them. So your weight and your measurements can lead you off. Your ping test depends on how well you hear, and I'll show you some graphs on that here in a second. But your ping test, if you are just using your hearing, if you have bad hearing, if you need a hearing aid, if you aren't, for lack of a better way of saying it, musically inclined. I used to play saxophone, guitar, sing. So my pitch is pretty darn good. So, but you can also get apps on your phone that will help you, and those are good for people who don't trust their hearing, don't have good hearing. So that will augment that test. The XRF machine, I don't have one here. Why? They're real expensive. You have the gun version.
What's an XRF machine, Tiger?
XRF, it uses X-ray fluorescence. Basically, it uses X-rays that hit the metal, and based upon how they disperse, they will send off different components of fluorescence that will be picked up by the same instrument and give you a reading. And it's the downside is it's really not a really good through test. A lot of people think it'll go through the item. I'm in the process of making a video doing a product comparison between XRF and Sigma Metalytics, similar to how I did with Ping and Metalytics. So basically that'll give you some issues on it. You got the Sigma itself. It uses electrical resistance. And I did a video not so long ago where I talked about electrical resistance. I bought an ohm meter, and your home ohm meters at Lowe's and Home Depot and everything, they're not good for testing our metals. This is the machine for testing electrical resistance. That's exactly what it does. But you notice there's no electrical touching of it, because electricity and magnetism are very closely related. It sends electromagnetic waves through the machine. This one, being a Pro, will go completely through it rather than the surface analysis of the original design. Let's see here. If I can possibly be able to bring up a shared screen here for you.
Yep. You need new batteries in your device, by the way.
The calipers, they'll help you, but similarly, you can be fooled based upon what metal you are actually looking for.
But I'll tell you that that is a better tool than magnets, right? Because they can have metals that are like tungsten, but in order for tungsten or even copper in many cases, one thing that is important is that you have um, a good idea of what the thickness and stuff is. So,
Okay, now if you look here, this is from one of my videos. Which is better, Pocket Pink or Sigma Metalytics? I broke it down based on the topic. Price, portability, range, what additional equipment you can use, and limit sizes. So you can see the prices, no reason to go over that in any great depth. Portability, that's self-explanatory. We already talked about what can happen with the hearing and the limitations. The Sigma, it can only give you what you can program into it. So for instance, a 40% percent coin, a 35% coin, it won't give it to you, but the Pocket Pinger will, especially if you use the app. And that's the only additional equipment I can figure out to use with the Pocket Pinger. The Sigma, you got wands, you got a bridge for the Pro. Um, you know what the size limits. If you can't fit it in the Pocket Pinger, it don't work. Depending on which type of Sigma you got, you know, it will fit in these probes. I like the Pro because it gives you through. I'm going to be buying a bridge because even though I don't really buy big pieces, some 10-ounce bars are too chunky to fit in here. You know, so I'll use the wands for the time being. So going to this, you know, this was also in another video that I did talking about the electrical resistivity of certain types of metals. And I'm going to show you here in a second, because I set this all up to make it easy for everyone. Look at the similarities, 1.59, 1.68, and in the measured category, how close they are with gold. You've got, there's completely different. This is why the Sigma will pick it up in the gold category. In gold, let me find the correct one here. Not American silver, sorry. And I'll just show it to you this way. I set it up wrong. I apologize. With gold, I did an American Gold Buffalo, two of them together, and what the through of them was for. I put that piece of tungsten in them, and notice the difference in there. That's where your Sigma is going to pick up your fake gold, where the specific gravity weight measurement might lead you down the wrong path. Where if you're doing silver, the Sigma will be in the graph. A lot of people just look at the graph, where on the right margin, it will actually give you the measurements. And notice how close they are. The Sigma will probably give you a partially wrong answer, and those of us who are not paying that much attention or don't understand the Sigma that well will probably go down the wrong road. Where you can pick this up with, it will give you maybe the right weight, but the wrong measurements, or vice versa. Specific gravity will completely give you the wrong, the correct answer. Hold on, let me go to the, I must have lost that. I had that tab up there. The specific gravity of copper is almost 9. It's like 8.9 something. The specific gravity of silver is almost 10.5. So if you do specific gravity, you'll catch it. The Sigma might lead you down the wrong way. If you got the right weight, the measurement will be wrong. If you got the right measurement, the weight will be wrong. So you always got to use more than one type of testing. Always use more than one type of testing. And if your gut is screaming at you, you probably need to listen to it. And if you are thinking about not buying it, you're probably doing the right thing for yourself.
yeah, the first impression, your gut is always one of the best ones. And again, if you look at something, your eye tells you a lot more than you give it credit for. It can mislead you. And if you look at something long enough, you can see the things you're looking for, even though they don't exist. It's called pareidolia. The mind sees what it wants to see. But if you're looking at something and something doesn't stand out, set it aside and come back to it later. Go look at a book, go look at whatever, understand what the real thing should look like before coming back to it. Trust your gut.
Understood. Now, there is another test that I have sometimes, and that I don't have the test all the time because that particular test lives in Texas. If I don't know what the heck I'm dealing with, I call my buddy up on the phone, this one over here, and we'll look at something and he'll clue me in what's going on. Sometimes I'll have to send a picture. Sometimes he sends it off to Jack Young and Jack. Who's the other Jack?
Jack Young, Jack Riley, Zach, Paula,
Okay.
there's a ton of people. The ACEF, there's a ton of people that can give you good information. So,
So, if I ever did go to a really big coin show, I would really like to take this one with me so that because I'll be honest with you, I will be taking all my stuff with me in a backpack. And if my gut screams at me I'm getting lied to, I'm pulling it out. But if it has to do with numismatic stuff, I don't know that much. I'm more of a stacker. So there's my other test. So,
well, one of the things we have to look at when we're talking about this, and again, Tiger and I talk about this all the time. One thing that's really important is the engagement of your network. Having people, it doesn't matter if you are a pure stacker, it doesn't matter if you're a stack collector like us, or if you're a pure numismatist and you only stack because you like the collectability of the piece. It's important that you understand the authenticity of the element that you're looking at. Now, does this only go for numismatic coins? No, remember that bullion is a subcategory of numismatics. It just is. I've heard people try to say that it's not, and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Okay, even the U.S. Mint classifies numismatics as a sub or bullion as a subset of numismatics. It's just what it is. Tiger,
yeah.
how many fake JM bullion bars are there, or how many fake Engelhard bars are there, or how many fake Engelhards, or not Engelhards, Geiger bars are out there?
I would think there's less of the Geigers, just because they seem to be a little bit more protected in production. I've seen some uh, uh, Engelhards that have been cut open that had other metals in them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I showed you a really great one. The Engelhard bar was cut in half and had three lead pipes in it. Yeah.
That's where I saw it.
Yeah. And so the fact is, we don't know how many counterfeits are out there. We know that some of them are really, really good, designed to deceive. And I've got coins like the one that's sitting here. This coin was designed to deceive. Now, beforehand, I talked about this. If this was the top pop for this particular coin, this is $100,000 coin if it was one of the top pops. Now, in this condition, it's not. It's probably only maybe $30,000 if that coin were real. It's a big deal, right? And so making sure you understand the contents. I also came from a stream the other day in which two quote-unquote experts were talking about the 1909 SVDB. Everybody knows that coin. There's a ton of information about it, plenty of die markers, and tons and tons and tons of experts in the community that know about this coin. But yet they were saying you're a fool to buy a raw one. You should buy one slabbed because slab carries certain protections. Well, folks, this slab isn't protected by PCGS because it's not a PCGS slab. So don't let people try to talk you into buying something purely off of the slab. Don't. Know your coins. Know the design elements. The reason that Tiger and I come together, that we bring people like the ACEF, that we bring stackers like Yankee, that we bring people online like legislative government officials like your buddy Chris Pritt, right? The reason that these people come on is because they know we're trying to help the community understand and protect themselves. We want people to have real money. And yes, silver and gold is real money, right? And the collectible nature of it. We want you to be protected. We all work hard for our money. We all work hard for what we have. Don't let people try to talk you into learning anything but the coin, the gold, the silver. Know the entity you're dealing with. Any holder is secondary to knowing the coin, knowing the gold. Now, at the very beginning, I said, hey, people are going to challenge me and they're going to say, Frosty, if it's gold, it doesn't matter. And I am going to show you a case in which there's a lot of them. And the reason that it's problematic is because this particular coin is a highly sought after numismatic piece. Now, here's the thing. If you were to purchase a bunch of foreign gold and you found this piece and it's a real gold struck with counterfeit dyes and you try to sell that, you're performing an illegal act. Just know that. So you are required by law to know what you have. You should not just test your metals, but you should look at the elements in your stack to make sure that they are what you claim them to be. Because again, ultimately, they're in your stack. This coin right here is one that was often, US coins were taken. They were the same general size, the same weight, kind of the same metallurgical makeup. The US coins were a little bit better gold than this one, but these one carried significant numismatic premiums. This is the #1 counterfeit gold coin in the world. It is a transfer die counterfeit, meaning that it was struck from the original coin and all the other dies carry the exact same items of that particular coin. Die markers, ley lines, everything. They tell you to look for the depressions. That stuff is here. And while you might think that's not a really big deal, it is pure, it is real gold. 100% real gold. It will test positive, but it is a counterfeit. And if you get caught trying to sell something like this, it is illegal. Now, let's go back to this. When we go back to the Russian, the counterfeit detection, let's go back here and we talk about these. How many of you have $5 or $2.50 or $3 or $10 or $20 gold pieces?
I did.
Yeah, I do too. I'm sitting here in my typeset book. Tiger, you and I were talking about that the other day. Mm-hmm. Right? I didn't want to create a gold typeset because I'm like, it's too much money. And then somebody heard me say I was never going to do it. Then they ended up buying one and sending it to me. And they're like, yeah.
That's not just to irritate you, just sets off the OCD.
I was like, what the hell? Now I got a page in my typeset book. It's the only one that's empty. But yeah, so you want to make sure you go through this. Okay, now, it's real gold. So can you damage that thing and fold it in half and do whatever and then turn it in for gold? Yeah, absolutely. But the thing is you got to protect yourself from making sure you're not, you or your loved ones, those people that come after you, because remember, you're only temporary steward of your set, your collection, your stack. You're only a temporary steward of it. Eventually, our stacks or our collections are going to go to somebody else. So do your due diligence. Understand what it is to have an authentic coin. Understand We talk about this one. This is a great one. Let's do this one. This is one of my favorite ones. The 1912, the 1915, the 1925. There are specific markers in this area of the coin right here that you look for. There are things within the dates. There are things within the incuse. There's a lot of tooling. In some cases, there are added mint marks. Oh, by the way, Tiger, at the very beginning of this, on that thumbnail, there is a coin. And it says, which one is fake? Does this look familiar to you?
Looking. All I see is the Incuse Indian.
Yeah, on that picture on the thumbnail, there are 4 coins. All of them are gold. And the one that's counterfeit is the one that I'm showing the reverse. And that is the 1925 D, $2.50. And it's the D that gives it away. This is actually not a real one. You can see the tooling marks and you can see the depressions that are there. They show up in every one of them. But that D, this D right here, was actually added. It's not actually the right D. And so this is, for all intensive purposes, an altered coin. It still has its gold value, but it's no longer, say again?
What did they do, take a Philadelphia one and just press a D into it?
They added the D to it, yeah. And it's not the only one. There are other ones as well. So when you come through here, you can see some of these. Let's, that's that one. Let's see, there's another one that's the same thing. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It's the one with the D mint mark, the D mint mark. And again, they'll show you instances of what's going on and the tooling and stuff that happens. And, you know, they were moving portions of the letter and stuff like that. So you can see that they've removed certain aspects of things to try and hide it a little bit better. This is what they're referencing, the tooling. This is like a dental pick that they use to scrape metal away. That's what you see, the lines inside those and around the 4. You can see that, right? There are different tooling marks all through here. And again, these are those things that you want to look for, and you'll find those areas in here, you'll find them here, and then again, you'll find those in those areas here that you just saw, and again, around the date. So you really want to familiarize yourself with these. Well, guess what? None of us are called to know all of these coins ourselves. So this is why we have a group of people that come together to look at these things and come alongside of you. If you ever want any help and you have a coin that you're concerned about or you're questioning or you want to look at it before you buy it, reach out. There are a ton of people who can help. Now, we can give you certain tests that you should perform, just like Tiger went through. Have a magnet with you. Check a ping test. By the way, gold should not be magnetic. Silver should not be magnetic. Copper should not be magnetic. They're all diamagnetic items. But there are other ones, the calipers, the scale. Scale is extremely important. Check the thickness of the coin. Check the diameter of the coin. You have specific gravity. Well, guess what? Specific gravity is probably not something you're going to be doing at a bullion or a coin shop. Hey, do you mind if I get a glass of water? They're probably not going to let you dip their precious metals in water. And then you have your different analytic machines. You have your XRF, and then you have the one that Tiger has sitting on his display. Again, let's go ahead and split that up like this. Okay, so again, you see this thing here. There's another adapting piece. It's called a bridge, right?
Yes.
So you have a bridge that goes through this that you can test bars and stuff with. But there's a lot of tools that are out there that you should be utilizing because you want to make sure you're getting good metal. But the point of today's discussion is that, number one, you can't always solely rely on just the metal being appropriate for you to be collecting and stacking certain pieces. You always need to check the coin, check the bar, and make sure you're doing the appropriate tests, not test. Never just do one, but do the appropriate tests, but always know the coin. If you're collecting any kind of government-based anything, know those coins. Every single mint will have detailed information regarding what the requirements of that weight, diameter, thickness. They even count the reeds in many cases. They will tell you if the edge is lettered or plain or reeded. They will tell you in this particular coin, I can flip this over real fast. Right in this area right here, right in that area where I showed you, there's supposed to be a plug. It states plugged, but guess what? It's not there. It doesn't exist. Well, this isn't an authentic coin. This isn't actually the coin that they claim this to be. These are all things that you should really be able to identify simply by looking at that information. And so, again, when you look at stuff like this, it's very important for you to cultivate good resources. Cultivate good resources, okay? Now, does that mean you have to come watch Tiger and me? No, not at all. Well, yeah, but you know what I mean.
I know, I'm messing.
Right? Because we're going to reference you to other people. This is just being good stewards in the community. Tiger and I clearly understand that we don't know everything about this entire set of hobbies. There's so much to know. There's no way, and nobody should ever be led into the belief that you should know everything. Anybody who runs a channel that tells you that you're stupid for not knowing the difference between a real coin and a fake holder or a real holder is foolish, right? You can't know everything every time about every topic. Don't try to learn it. Don't try to know it. You can learn as much as you can, but this is why it's important to cultivate good resources and have a community of people that come alongside of you to help you in this endeavor. And this is what Tiger and I want to do. We want to be that source for you. We want to work together with you, reference you to other people, and get you connected to those people that can help you make smarter decisions. It's also very, very important that you go to, talk to, and vet your coin shops, your bullion dealers, your online people that you're buying from, and test everything. Test and verify everything. Not because you don't trust them, but because it's a good practice. And if you do that, doesn't mean you're never going to come across something that's fake. I mean, we got people in the hobby that do this, and they have no problem staying busy all the time just looking at fake stuff. But we have those people on our corner and people looking out for you. So it's very, very important for you to be tracking this and for you to be cultivating a good network. What about you, Tiger? What pieces of advice would you give in this realm?
Well, first of all, if you're not very well numismatically minded and probably won't be, similar to myself, I learn a lot, but I would never go toe to toe with anyone in the numismatics, even a novice, because they know more than me. I would certainly do what we have suggested to do in this combination live stream Stack Collector. Cultivate a friendship with people who know more what you're talking about. If you have numismatic questions, talk to them. Talk to this guy over here. And if he doesn't know, he'll get you in touch with one of the people that he thinks will have more information. But even if you don't have a lot of money, there are ways to bypass what you don't have. For instance, if you're buying from a trusted dealer, great. If your local pawn shop, local coin shop has a Sigma like Shavella does, she was the one who got me to buy one of these. Have her test it in front of you. They don't have a problem doing that.
Dog World, $4.99 super chat. Thank you so.
Gave you a $5 super chat.
Thank you so much, Dog World. Appreciate your support. $4.99. That's a beautiful thing. Thank you so much.
One that I didn't show you was the magnetic slide. This has got a bunch of magnets going down it, and if you notice, the slide for a copper versus.
I got a really interesting question.
They go about the same speed. So not only will the Sigma give you wrong information, the slide will give you the wrong information.
Yeah, see, that's a really important one. So this is something that I learned a long time ago when utilizing the slide. In order for the slide to be effective, you have to have a real version of the coin in order to get a reference.
Yeah, no,
Otherwise, you have no idea if it's sliding properly.
and I don't have a raw coin that's not in one of the flips.
But it's just important for people to understand that. You demonstrated that very well.
Now, the gold does have diamagnetic properties, but it doesn't go as slow as copper and silver. But watch with tungsten. There you go. If you got something that has a tungsten core and no significant gold on the outside, you're going to pick it up on the magnetic side. So always have more than one form of testing, and you can, if you don't have a whole lot of money to afford certain things, you can possibly just go ahead and get yourself a one magnet and just see how fast it comes down. Usually not with this much of a difference. One has to be significantly smaller than the other. You can always learn how to do the specific gravity test. I have videos on it. I've done a, uh, a workshop on it. And you can always contact me at thetigerstacker@gmail.com. I have two forms of a spreadsheet. Well, those of you who aren't big into computers, you just bring out your calculator and just go through it. It gives you instructions how to do it and gives you an idea what the specific gravity is. And you can always look that up on the internet. Or if you're big into it, I have it in a Excel spreadsheet. I'll send one. I'll send both of them to you upon request. And you can always use water and a scale. And the downside to the scale is these ones, for very small pieces, won't give you the recording. I ended up buying a much more expensive scale that I'll be using in videos in the future that has the ability to determine significantly less weight. So if you're doing, a small piece of gold or 1/10 ounce of silver, you'll have that ability. These are great for 1 ounces to do specific gravity, maybe a 1/2 ounce, maybe a quarter. But the smaller pieces, maybe you can go to, your pawn shop. Chevella has a really awesome, very sensitive scale. It depends on what you have the ability to do. If you don't have it, make friends with your local coin shop, your pawn shop, your best buddy who has something. Go from there. So there's a lot of different ways to go ahead and do that. And yeah, there's another thing that, if you have the time, go to this guy's channel. Bring out a sheet of paper, a pen, start keeping notes. Make yourself a little bit of a numismatist. And it doesn't cost you anything other than maybe paper and ink. So those are the thoughts I have in my head. What's yours?
It's one of those things where, depending upon where you come from, what you look at, what your goal is, you need to cultivate good relationships. Now, Tiger talks about Chevella and the pawn shop that he has. He's cultivated a really good relationship there. But what's really important is to look at getting information and having good people in your network. There are people that have come alongside of me. Speak of the devil, Paula just jumped into chat. Her
I was
ears
just
must
going
have
to say
been
that
burning.
there's one of our Jacks, Paula Jack Bloom.
Yeah. There are certain components, certain aspects of the hobby where people excel at. And making sure you surround yourself with those people is extremely important. People tend to do a lot of stuff online because it's simple, but don't underestimate the value of having a local coin shop and bullion dealer that you can go to. We have people in the community that I deal with and look at trying to find pieces all the time. And But I will always go, we talk about cash and carry, right? You go to the coin shop, you get it, boom, you're done. You don't have to worry about shipping. You don't have to worry about people taking it, those kind of things. So there's a lot of different things to consider when you're looking at this. But the first thing here is cultivating good relationships. But the thing that I really want to get to the bottom of, again, the whole purpose, the whole premise for today is I don't care what people say about slabs. Your first item should be to know the coin. If you're going to be buying it, it doesn't matter if it's an authentic or a fake slab. What matters is whether or not that coin, silver, gold, platinum, palladium, doesn't matter. You have to make sure that that coin is authentic. That slab only is as good as the slab or the person who put it in the slab. And Jack Young has shown us that the TPGs, or the professional grading companies, they make mistakes. And there are fake coins in good slabs. So the slab is only a portion of the situation. Testing is only a portion of stacking. You really do need to understand the coin, whether it be silver, gold, platinum, palladium, whether it's a bar, whatever. You really need to know the authenticity of that, and you have to do that by the piece itself, not the packaging that it's in. And if you guys remember that, and gals remember that, you'll save yourself a lot of headache. And people who genuinely want to protect you will tell you that it's all about the coin first. Because people use slabs, just like the one that's sitting in front of you. People use slabs all the time to try to deceive you.
Well, the interesting thing about slabs is it decreases your ability to use certain tests. And the Sigma can read through plastic, but depends on how big it is. If you got a little tiny piece that's in a slab, such as this, the Sigma might not pick it up because that big piece won't pick it up. You might be too far off with to pick it up on the wand. It certainly won't fit into there, and the bridge obviously will be too much for it. So the slabs are sometimes used to deceive. You might be able to pick it up with an XRF, but it's the only reason I've ever picked up slabs is because, at least initially, was because the price was right. So I usually tend to lean more towards raw, but then that was before I met you, Frosty. And then when I started seeing you and everyone in the numismatic world show how slabs are used to fool people, it's like, okay, there's another layer of things you have to go through just to prove if you got the right thing. So um, there you go.
And I
Are
added
you
the
there?
little, I turned the little ticker on our channel. I
Okay.
want to remind people of something. Tiger and I will talk about finances and things of that. Just remember, we're not financial experts. Okay, we are not auction houses. We don't do that. What's important to know is that we're about talking about the community, getting information out there, making sure you understand what's happening. Hey, Steve, what's going on, bud? Good to see you. Um, this is informational only. Okay, we're not trying to provide you financial advice. If you want financial advice, or should you buy, should you sell, speak to a financial expert. Okay, and again, I just want to run this again. We talked about the beginning. We talked about what's going on. Um, we need to make sure that we are doing our due diligence and protecting the community. So we want you guys to remember that we give you the best information that we can, but this is only supposed to be considered informational, educational, not financial advice.
Yeah. Well, basically, what he's trying to tell you is that not only are we not experts, but Frosty, he's good at giving you the cold shoulder, and I'm good at trying to get you the antelope.
That
Sorry.
sounded horrible, but
Okay, but it was an attempt.
oh, too much fun. Let's see, what did AA say? You're better off buying from a trusted dealer than a random person on eBay. Yeah, absolutely. But here again, had Azure Blue contacted me earlier. We were talking some bills. Hey, Steve, thank you so much. Steve Lapointe just issued a membership to Sorcerer Stan. Outstanding. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Steve. Congratulations, Stan.
Yes, I am streaming in the morning, Paula. This was supposed to be yesterday's. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen financial family issues, we had to shift our focus and go to other things. So, but thanks so much, Steve, for doing that. Much appreciate you, bud. But yeah, I will be streaming in the morning, and we'll be talking about a couple different things. So I'll send you the information as soon as I get off here. Any tomorrow's move out day? Oh my gosh, Paula's finally going to get her house back.
Where'd she lose it?
It's been her kids have lived with her for a while. Tiger just gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much.
I
Aspiring, Jay, Angry Warrior, Stacy Nat, Jay Burns. I'll say thank you to Tiger for those gifted memberships. Much appreciated. Appreciate you, bud.
You're welcome.
So again, folks, it is important to test your metals. It is important to test your numismatic coinage, whether it be copper, silver, platinum, palladium, or gold. It's important to understand whether your metal is real or not. But it's really, really, really even more important to understand the coin or the bar itself. Know what makes something authentic and what makes something not. And if you have people in your community that can assist with that, you're going to be a better stacker and you're going to be a better collector. So folks, we appreciate you for your time. Thank you for joining us today. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you are subscribing to both channels. And there is a really, really neat set of people that are out in this community. Connect with some of them. And when you do, tell them we said hi. Tiger, you want to say your farewells?
Well, happy Halloween, everyone. Enjoy the holiday. And this is the beginning. In my mind, this is the beginning of the holiday season. So have a great time. Have a great time with as many children because they're really wonderful. And don't eat too much candy. And just come on back. And please, if you can, if you find it in your heart, please subscribe to this guy over here because he works really hard at trying to protect you all. And if you wouldn't mind, maybe subscribe to me as well, because in my way also, I'm trying to protect everyone as well. We are all here for you. Okay? Please don't forget that. We are here for you. So we would appreciate the support. And if you do hit the subscribe, please make sure you hit the like button, leave a comment, hit the bell notification. Tells YouTube you're not a bot and they won't take you out and they'll leave you into the subscriber list because we both want to try to get to helping everyone.
Hey, Tiger, did I tell you? You know who Smash Mouth is?
Do I know what?
Who Smash Mouth is? The group Smash Mouth.
I've heard of them. I couldn't tell you much about them.
Okay, what about the Monkeys? You know who the Monkeys are?
Oh yeah, I love the Monkeys.
Okay, I was talking to my wife about both of those groups, and she told me she can't stand them.
Why?
I didn't believe her, and then I saw her face. Anyway, folks, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Hey, there's a lot of little ones going to be out running around today. Slow down. Use your headlights, get off your phones, and pay attention. Okay, let's not make anybody's night a bad night. Definitely don't ruin any of yours.
Exactly.
Dress warm, stay safe, eat too much candy, and we will see you guys in the streams. Take
Night,
care,
everyone.
folks.